they'll lynch you. But he did, and he laughs at
Yes, everybody. Russ and the West Ham Network. Hope you're all safe and well. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Tell me why I don't like Mondays. Well, we've got a new kit, ain't we? And we've got to spend £100 if you want to get the full kit with all the badges and that. But anyway, we'll talk about the new kit. But it's the Monday live lunchtime thing where I try and give you some of the sort of the rumours that have been going on the last sort of over the weekend, and then we sort of do it towards the end of the week as well, a sort of live roundup, just like a whistle-stop tour, just to give you all the latest news. And obviously, rumours, just they are rumours. They are rumours. After this weekend, I think I just better say it. They are rumours. Let's go through and see who's in the chat already. Kenneth Andrew. Hope you all love the new kit that I've seen. What your opinion on it? And will we buy any players? Or is Moyes leaving it too late again? New kit, I think it's okay. I think it's one that I think I'll probably enjoy more when I see it. Not too sure about I'd have made the collar blue, and it's got sort of, it looks like a V-neck collar. Looks a bit like that one, like the collar on that one, but yeah, it had like a line along it. So I think it's all right. I quite like the video. Well, the video was good. Friend of the channel, Mickey Granite's in it. You see the guy with the grey hair, Mickey Granite. If you want some granite, go to see Mickey. Can't believe Mickey Granite's in it. But yeah, surprised to see Cornet and Downs pushing the new kit. I think they're the only ones who are available, to be honest, Toby. But there it is. Afternoon, Michael. Love a retro kit. What is it? 5 weeks to Prem, so 4 weeks till we sign someone. Well, don't forget the proper pre-season starts tonight. Boreham Wood tonight. I don't think it's going to be on anywhere. I don't think so. We'll probably give we'll know a few people to go in, so I'll phone them up and get a match review afterwards, and we'll see what happens. But yes, tonight, Scarmacca is in the squad. Squad looks all right actually, and that probably most of the squad that are going to go to Australia as well. So, Frano, hope you're well. Toby's here is now. Good afternoon. I'll be waiting for the first payment before we can actually sign someone. Who knows? Your guess is as good as mine, Peter. Your guess is as good as mine. Hammer's headlines, we talk about Luis Felipe, and Real Betis seem to be in the same situation that we're in that, if we can't sign anyone until they've paid the first bit of the money, they've already bought a replacement for Felipe, who's Mark Rocha from Leeds, and they can't spend the money until they've got the money. Oh, it's all a nightmare. Afternoon, Dan. Anyone happy? Oh, it's all right. It's exciting. I always get excited with a new kit. We'll beat last one's record for rumours this season, as everyone knows we have the right money. Don't Mondays because of the god awful song. Papa Firth, nice to see you. I've been sitting in the chat for a bit out of focus today. Am I? Let's give it a rub. Give it a rub. Yeah, it seems to refocus itself if it was. I don't know. Everyone needs to buy a new kit ASAP so we can build on new kitty. Yeah, life's not bad, mate. Ken, nice to see you. Don't believe anything to the cert being held up. Prices outrageous. Should be cheaper to encourage kids. I was listening to Talk Sport yesterday. They had the guys from Bury FC, and their replica kits are 20 quid. How good's that? Evening evil. Saw Ings had a haircut. Well, he's not. It's a hair transplant, but there we go. Don't have any new faces. No, definitely won't be. You won't see any new faces on the Australian trip, that's for sure. Rice Man who spent last summer says Ballon Dawson. Evening, Alan. Don't want new kit. Shame I can't get a new one before they arrive. We'll be ordering indeed. Will be a blog on the official site called Daily Mail. Yeah, but it's always like 5 minutes. Rob, bless him, trying to type it all out. Wouldn't mind Luis Felipe. We'll talk about Hammer's headlines tonight, as well as potential for Mbama to get some more game time, like talking through sort of the things that, and also potential new appointment for Mark Phillips, friend of the channel. So and I've just been talking to him about not obviously live, but I've been talking to him about the appointment. So yeah, just check that out this afternoon. I want Mbama to be the starting lineup more watch later on. I've got a theory. and sort of theory slash a reality as well. Papa Cox, hope you're well. Is Jacob finished school? Yeah, I think he has now. Afternoon, Kimbo. But anyway, let's do the rumours. Let's do some rumours. These are rumours. Rumours. Just putting that out there. Not fact. Rumours. Anyway, let's start with the guy at the front on the thumbnail. The next Vidic he was referred to once. In terms of West Ham, I reportedly keen on signing the Atalanta centre back Miriam Demiral as an option, according to the Turkish football websites. The Hammers are ready to make a move for the 25-year-old Turkish international. Apparently, Atalanta want about 15 million quid for him, but are open to negotiate as they want to part ways with their centre back this summer. I mean, this guy is an exceptionally experienced international defender for somebody who's 25, and is impressed in a number of Champions League games this season. I mean, he's one of those sort of real leaders, and we are losing a leader, so actually he may well come in. And you've got to think also next year potentially not this season, but next season with someone like Ogbonna leaving and Cresswell, it's about getting some more leaders in the park, and definitely he is one of them. They'll not want to make a loss. Atalanta won't, but so around 15 million quid apparently. I mean, I like him. I like Luis Felipe as well, but I like this guy as well because he's just like a brute. He's a brute, old school sort of. He's physical, and just by that, you could just see him do that. You know what I mean? Anyway, Russie B is going to give this one a 6 out of 10 because, I mean, most of these are relatively believable at the moment, but we don't really know. What we've got here, I hope this is a breakout season. Afternoon. You join indeed. Really like the new kit, so much better than last year's. Appreciate your positive attitude. We have Jones think it's that. Oh, well, it is. Look, we always do our business late. Despite the fact we always want to do it early, we always do it late, and we'll be in a shit situation. But don't forget, we'll have a lot of the players we bought from last season have had a full pre-season now. So the likes of Skamaka, Paqueta, and Kira and Agard and even Flynn, potentially, and Skamaka's going to be back, and what will be. He looks scary, Russ. That's what I mean. Looks very scary. TB's in the chat. Nice to see you, bruv. Do we not have enough defenders? I think we need one more. I generally think we need one more good defender, like first team defender. And so we talk about Luis Felipe. I think he's about 17 million quid. He's roughly the same age. I think he might be slightly older. But there's definitely a need for a defender, I think, because Zuma, you're not going to get more than 25, 30 games tops out of him. So you want someone who's back up to him. I think you've got backup for Agard instead of Ogbonna, but Kira could play. But I think we need, at least one more. I know we look at Hammer Aguirre and stuff like that, but I just think he's out of it. Last time everyone was this pessimistic. We qualified for Europe in 4 points, so you never know. Hammer Aguirre, don't forget, usually only plays half a season. Divine needs a good year, long loan. We're reluctant to say. I think the line is we're reluctant to let him go out on loan. I think the reason being is. Well, if I tell you now that you're not going to listen to Hammer's headlines, but I've got a reasoning why I think he'll start the season with us. João Phoenix was seen in Ben Rami. Was interesting that Downs is in the full kit promo. That was done time ago, though, same as Cornet, mate, in it. So, and I think they were sort of the only ones around. That was the big indication that, this was done months ago. The thing with like Georgie Paris and that months ago. So, we're going to talk about Tar in a minute. Don't worry. We haven't replaced Ballon Dawson. You're totally right. We haven't. All right, let's crack on. Who's next? I think it is actually Jonathan Tah, who is to be honest, I like him. There's a few. There's a guy from Union Berlin I quite like as well as a defender. But West Ham apparently keen on signing him, and new technical director Tim Steinen could help them negotiate a deal for the centre back in the coming days. Should they not trigger his £15 release clause in the next few days? He has at the beginning of July, as reported, the West Ham held a concrete interest, and they remained in the race for by Leverkusen star. According to Rheinschick Post. West Ham were keen on the move and made it clear he made it clear he wants to move to the Premier League this year. He does have a £15 million release clause, including his contract, but that is only invalid until the end of, I think, next week. But even if that is close, even if we miss that, he's going to be around the same price, really. So he might pay a couple of million more, maybe pay less. I don't know. He's 27, capped for Germany 16 times. He's been a mainstay in the Bundesliga for a few years now. Good age. Again, he could come in and be that third centre back rather. With Ogby, I mean Ogby's the other one, but the three first teamers. Or, as I said, or Louis Philippe, we'll talk about a bit later on. Former Leverkusen sporting director Rudi Voller previously had the 6'4" Colossus as quick, technically gifted, but still robust. However, there may be he hasn't, the last few games of the season, last half of the season, he wasn't great for Leverkusen. We'll see. Russie B gives it on the Russie Rumour rating, the original Rumour rating, 7 out of 10, because the Steinden effects for me. That's for me. All these now, I look at them with the Steinden effect. Definitely. What we got here? Be good if we can get a bit more attacking this season. Wouldn't it be so? I tell you what. I know Alan's in the chat. Go and watch on Twitter. I think X has put up his video. Martin Allen's been promoing. They're doing a couple of shows out there. I think Will is also doing one out there for We Are West Ham podcast, and Mad Dog's presenting. I think they've got one with friend of the channel, Cotton Cole, and they've got one with friend of the channel, Richie Garcia, which would be good. I think Chris Cohen's coming as well. But honestly, it's cheers you up on a Monday. Literally, he's Mad Dog on a chat on a Monday, cheers me up. Hilarious. We only have 24 hours left from his release clause, or prices will go up. You're right. Is it today? I thought it was next week. Anyway, it doesn't matter. What, 50 million for Maguire? No, exactly. I can do one. Felix to West Ham. Could you imagine? Maybe we could ask Kira to sweeten the deal, Russ for Tar. Well, I'm being funny. We're playing Leverkusen in a couple of weeks' time, aren't we? Moyes would play him up as attacking midfielder. He'd do a job, wouldn't he? Tar, very much. Very good. That is my thumbnail when we sign Tommy B. Thank you very much. 50 million for somebody definitely wants to go. Not going to happen. Like Zakaria moved into CDM like Rice was. Moyes will be gone in 16 games. That's why no loan for Divine. Just a theory. A young coach comes in to replace Moyes and gives Divine more game time. My theory, Ken, is we're going to need him at the beginning of the season. That's my theory. Because... I'll just tell you now. So obviously Antonio just got through. So Jamaica's just got through to the semi-finals of the Gold Cup. If they win that, the final is on the 19th of July. He will then need at least 2 weeks off before he starts his own pre-season. So that basically means the start of the season. Scarmacker is still away from fitness. So really it's Danny Ings or Mbama. So it will be on. So you know what I mean. So he will have to play a number of game times. It's just a matter of case. Worrying that squad is very old and no pace. I would rather find some hard-working players from Championship who has potential over some money-grabbing mercenaries. Says Paul. Sauce of milk for Paul Lyons. I think it's finding the right people, to be honest. And maybe Habib Diallo could be one of the right people. West Ham apparently registered their interest in the deal for Habib. He's apparently a firm target for the Hammers this season in this summer transfer window, and the London club will sign a striker apparently if David Moyes gets his wish. Brentford are also pushing hard for him as they see him as a strong replacement for Ivan Toney, who obviously won't be available for a little bit. There's also strong interest from Crystal Palace for the 27-year-old. Current place of Strasbourg. Who's just gone to Strasbourg? Paul Nevin. There we go. It's Agent Nevin. The Bees are searching for their replacement for Ivan Toney as well. He's the 28-year-old's contract at the league club runs until 2025. After joining from Metz in 2020, he's netted 20 goals across 38 appearances for Strasbourg this season, or last season. They only finished 15th in the top flight, 14 points clear of relegation. So very similar to like a Harvey Barnes. I mean, he still scored 20 goals. Shows how shit the rest of the side was. He scored 20 goals in 40 almost 38, almost 40 appearances, almost 1 in 2. But they still finished 15th. So you can have a good goal scorer, But list the rest of the team. Strasbourg sporting director, Mark Keller, born West Ham player. Hopefully we're trying to get him on the channel soon. I'm waiting on his people to get back to me. His people. He's talked to my people. Russie B gives Habib Diallo 6 out of 10. Because I can see something. Personally, I probably prefer Becker over him. But I think money probably similar sizes. I was talking Diallo is rapid. That's the thing, he's got pace. So does Becker. So I think I'd see one of them coming. I really do. Did play up top before in Brentford quite. He hasn't got the pace though, is he? What's the story of Alaves? Well, Alaves basically has gone quiet, as David says, gone quiet. He apparently, I think it's 30 million quid. Dortmund have pulled out, despite the fact they've got about 100 million quid in the bank from selling Jude Bellingham to Real Madrid, which is a bit worrying. So maybe it might be the wages or something like that, because you think the money's there for him to, unless the Bundesliga club are in shit creek without a paddle, they've already got 100 million pounds. So we'll see. He's very much a defensive. He's not going to do a Declan Rice, Billy Bonds-esque marauding run into the box and things like that. He's gonna be able to just block. So it may free up someone like Alaves. If you've got someone like Alaves and then maybe a Alex Scott, for example, and Paqueta, that's a nice 3. That could work quite well. Cornet and Bowen striker start of the season. That's why Barnes' situation is so frustrating. Or we gamble on Hudson-Odoi. Ken, I've had this mass debate with Anton today, actually, saying, we could be backing for Barnes. And I said, well, we could be backing for Barnes because basically Newcastle have only got £25 million to spend on him, and Leicester want more money. So at the moment, he's not going anywhere. Now, is Harvey Barnes on our wish list? We don't know. It's the same with all the under 107 players we've been linked to. Are they actually on our wish list, or is it something we're putting 2 and 2? And no doubt we'd love him. I'd love him on the left-hand side. Him very similar to Bone on the right-hand side. Charlie Walsh did a good video the other day, actually, about Harvey Barnes. And do we want exactly the same on the other side, or do we want something a bit different? I think we probably want the same thing on both sides, but we'll see. He has said that Cornet will be playing. He sees Cornet as a second striker potentially. Bowen, but I think Mbama might get a nod for a couple of games, or at least one game. I think we'd want to get fit fast indeed. I would go for Marco Bullock, a good CDM for us, cheap as well. You got visibility. Fair play, Fran. I never heard of him. Marks Kelly, yeah, great goal for his Derby. You do it 5-0 that day, wasn't it? Of course, it's too much money for a championship club. No, not one team would put a bid in for Barnes yet. No, indeed. And if we really wanted him, we'd have put a bid in for him. So I don't think we really want him. For me, I see situations like this. I think quota-wise, I think the trouble is I think we're okay for homegrown quota because we've got people like Devine, Freddie Potts, these guys in the squad. So I think we're okay for I haven't properly looked at it, but I think we're okay. Cresswell, longer, Flynn's there, still Connor Coventry still knocking about. You've got Bowen, you've got Antonio, I think we're all right for the homegrown quarter, sort of the quota. So we'll be playing extra to get Harvey Barnes in when we could be getting someone maybe from the Bundesliga who might be cheaper because you're not paying the homegrown tax. I don't know. I'm just speculating. This is just pure speculation. Right, let's talk about someone else. Let's talk about Dennis Zakaria. Apparently, Juventus have lowered their demands for Zakaria. According to a report in Tuttosport, Juventus are now demanding just 19 million quid for him. Apparently, West Ham have offered 15 million. And it was claimed earlier today by a reporter that the West Ham board were actually not close to signing him at all. However, claims emerged from Italy saying the opposite. So no one knows. David Moyes is apparently keen on him. Juventus are holding out for 17 million quid. I said we offered 15 million. One would imagine we'd meet in the middle at 17. I think 17 million quid for a fit Dennis Zakaria would be a very good job. I think obviously he does have people talk about his injuries. Now, for me, injuries. We signed an injured Kurt Zouma. We signed, Kurt Zouma has far more injuries than Dennis Zakaria. Dennis had a really bad one, which meant he missed something like a whole season almost. And you can't really legislate for that. But all these injuries, he'll have a niggle, be out for a game. be out for a game. But they're all different injuries. Do you know what I mean? So it's not the same injury. If it was always hamstring, like Antonio was always hamstring, you think, oh, he's got a problem with his hamstrings there. He missed in terms of like looking at it, it ain't that bad. I think people have looked at it and like added all the games up and, oh my God, he's missed this many games. Last season, he missed 4 games, right? Which basically curtailed his Chelsea career, basically. The season before, he missed 6. Right, he missed a thigh problem for 2 games. He had a tear in his abdominal muscle for 6 games, a strain for a game, coronavirus for a game, fitness for a game, coronavirus. So 2 of them were coronavirus. So he might miss 10 games the previous season. 2 were illness, which he couldn't pick up anyway. 1 was fitness in between coronavirus. So he's basically 3 games being corona. The following season, he only missed 1 game. Then the season before, he missed 21 games with a bad knee injury. Then the other games is like 1 game in 18-19, 2 games in 17, in 16-17, he missed about 10 games, fitness, muscle injury, and knock. So he was ill in 15-16. So it's the same as most other players. For someone, he's a combative midfield player, so he does get stuck in a bit. I mean, I think this one's still going to happen. I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10. I still think this one's going to happen because it's a cheap option, and if it does mean that we can get a loan with an obligation to buy, then yeah, I think that's a good one. A lot of people going on about left wing. See, I think we don't. I think it's the least important for me. It's about midfield. We need to get midfield sorted. Then defence. I still think we're struggling. We've gone into every season, the last 2 or 3 seasons, with 4 recognised centre backs, and by the end, like halfway through, we'll end up with 1. And Aaron Creswell's got to play centre back. My niece went to Madrid. Their kits are 179 euros. Wow. You have to buy the whole set at nearly 200. They went to stay. Oh yeah, mental. Yeah, oh yeah, because Bernabeu's been redone. Obviously, they've moved Barcelona to the Olympic Stadium, haven't they, for like 2 years or 2 or 3 years, while they redo the new camp. Mental. That Skamaka was back before World Cup. Was starting to think like a sick note. Basically interested in getting fit. Shame because he could have been a big success. We'll see, innit? Just hope he scores as bangs in 8 goals. I can dream. Is it true that we don't have to register and Potsy because of their age? I think you're right. I think they're not included in the 28, in the 25-man squad. Because they're under 21. Do some of these rumours for overseas still qualify as homegrown as they came through an English club? Possibly. I don't know. So like Musa, like you said, Musa from Valencia, he came from Arsenal, so maybe with our training facilities. I don't want. Good point. Maybe nice to some 1 or 2 players that make an instant impact. Injury record is clearly no worse than. That's what I mean. People banging on about. I was listening to this show the other day. There were people banging on about Zakaria. And actually, if you look at it across 51, like 7 seasons, he probably has missed about 40 games. But one of them was 21 season. He missed 21 games. So take that out, and across 6 seasons, he's missed like 20 games or something like that. So that ain't a lot worse than some of our other players, in all honesty. And 4 of them were like illness. Those 3 he was ill for 3 games, and then he had coronavirus in between and fitness, another 3 games. So 6 of them were illness. You can't legislate for someone being ill. Anyway, these are just rumours, as I suggested. Let's talk about Onana. Now, what's the latest with Onana, you say? Well, there could be some development. There could be some positive development in terms of our pursuit for Amadou Onana from Everton. In that Everton apparently are making a move for Adam Wharton from Blackburn. Now, obviously, the only thing was we looked at him as well. We've been linked to him as well, but it's claimed in May that he was watching a lot of Blackburn games, sending out scouts as a potential summer signing. But now he seems to be firmly in Everton's sight. And that could be good news for us signing Onana potentially. He's described. Wharton is described as a taller Jack Wilshere who can play and tackle, whatever that means. He can score some good goals as well. The reports claim that a number of Premier League clubs have scouted Blackburn's young side particularly, and Wharton was one of them particularly, including West Ham. Now, obviously, if Deitch pushes and Wharton comes through the doors at Goodison Park, that could expedite a move for Onana. And he's looking to move on. Rusty B, I mean, I've given him a 50-50. I would love him. I think him, someone like Alex Scott and Paqueta, or him, JWP and Paqueta will be a fucking good, or him. Yeah, you wouldn't have seen him and Zakaria. They're very like-minded people, but I think Onana's I think he's really good. And he made a massive. I was really impressed when he played us at London Stadium, albeit under a Lampard side, not a Sean Dyche side. I saw reports that we're not getting Zakaria now. Who knows, Jay? That was the latest we've read, but it can report every day is conflicting reports. Dyche dropped Onana like a bomb. Onana doesn't like it, thinks he's top 4. Well, he's been dropped by Everton, that's why he wants to move on. But we'll see. Speaking of players we don't know, we haven't got a clue whether they're going to sign or not. Let's talk about Alex Scott. Let's talk about what we've heard in terms of the latest reports in the press. So apparently we are still in the race to sign him. According to several sources, Bristol is firmly on our radar, and the Hammers are thought to still be in pole position, regardless of what was said last week. We've heard, I heard that story, but also I heard another story saying we're still very much looking to sign him. I mean, he's the, we know he's the Guernsey Grealish, and he could still be West Ham bound. I think this is the one for me who would really excite us in terms of the project. Most of the players we've been linked to tend to be in the older age group. Whereas Alex comes in, and I think you would have to partner him up with someone more experienced central midfielder, defensive midfielder. I mean, don't forget Souček's still there. I mean, Souček's still got 2 years left in his contract. So unless a club are willing to spend $100,000 a week on Souček plus the transfer fee, he's probably going to stay with us. I reckon he'll probably see his contract out and go back to Slavia Prague in 2 seasons' time. But someone like Alex Scott, we know, obviously, there's been a lot of talk about him in the YouTube community, but there was that story that a meeting has been had, but also the same person sent me a story saying we're still in the hunt for him. So who knows? I mean, I really rate him. I watch a lot of this, and I put him down for a 7 out of 10 because although I haven't seen any other sides make a push for him yet, which slightly worries me. I mean, like, you can just see Tottenham rolling in that type of teams that really pisses off. Getting fed up. I keep hearing that other clubs are going and buy the exciting players. Then we get linked with their older players for loads of money. Down. I think that's a function of, as I said, having, and I think that was the trouble is, I think now it's almost like I want to go through my transfer list rumours, my 100 or whatever it is, and not cull them, but have them pre-Tim Steindon and have them with Tim Steindon, because actually I think you're going to see, you've seen definitely in the last sort of few weeks, newer names coming up, younger players coming up, and it might be a function of Steindon and agents are putting 2 and 2 together, or it might be a case of generally we're after younger players under Steindon. We don't know. No one really knows unless you're Tim Steindon, Noble. We don't know what's happening with Rob Newman, whether if he's left, whether it's a severance package, we don't know. No one knows. Onana, what's his name? Last year was last year. This year, I've scouted this. Yeah, no, I mean, we've spoken about Adam Wharton quite a bit. Good player, but I just think personally, I think Onana, you wouldn't get Wharton and Scott. You wouldn't get 2. So I think if you've got someone like Onana in and someone like Scott, that could be your midfield too for many years to come. Plus Paqueta. Don't forget, we've still got Souček hanging around. The One Football app today, we're in talks and a deal will get done for Scott. There we go. Will be worth the money, just an investment, as he'll be a £60 but after 1 year in the Premier League. I totally agree. And if you get him for like 20, I mean, they want 20 to 25 million pounds. People think that's a lot of money, but don't forget we paid about 2021, maybe slightly below 20 for Bowen like 3 or 4 years ago. We've paid 25 million for Ben Rama from Brentford. So that's sort of the going rate. And I think also he's the homegrown. I think that's a really good deal. And potentially they could be swap deal as well, because don't forget we've got Connor Coventry still in the squad. We've got the likes of what's his face of Flynn potentially as well. Well, I think Flynn will be the next person, the last person we talk about today. But in terms of a sweetener, but I could see stuff like that happen. Danny Ings as well. I mean, Bristol were good championships. I think Ings, Bournemouth. He was a Bournemouth. Couldn't guarantee an first fit with Rice. Now Rice is gone. Should be easy enough to wrap him up. But again, part of me, and that's another thing. Also, the rumor about he couldn't, the Alex Scott thing, that he couldn't guarantee him. Part of me is like, I wouldn't want to guarantee you something. I want you to fight for your place. And that's sort of what he said, but in context and the way you read things, sometimes, different intonation in terms of how you read emails and texts and things like that. And I wouldn't want someone to come in and demand and say, and Moisey goes, oh, yeah, you're going to be playing for, definitely you're a starter. You're a starter. No, you're going to get opportunities. When you get opportunities, you got to fight for it. And I think that's fair enough. But yeah, we'll see what happens. We're not fitting under Moyes. Given free role at Bristol, wouldn't go that under Moyes. He wouldn't, but he also is covered for right wing, so he can play right wing. He can play midfield, and he can play 10. So he could play 10 and give. He has given free. Don't forget, Lingard got a free role when he should not be named. Jesse Lingard came. He was given almost free role. As long as he trapped back, he can do what he wants. And I think Alex could have a similar. I mean, you've got to play him like. I mean, they call him the Guernsey Grealish. You've got to play him like Grealish. You've got to play him how he, to get the most out of him. And if it means you play with, then you could easily play with someone like an Alaves or a real proper central defender, central CDM role. And also I think Souček as well. I think we might generally, again, half glass half full, clutching at straws. I think with Declan Rice not there, I think you're going to see a renaissance in Souček's performances. I genuinely think you will, because I think he'll have more. I just have a bit more clarity. I think he will do. Zakaria and loan, Onana throw in a Barnes and 1 or 2. We are cooking, lads. Great shout. I don't think Barnes out. But we'll talk about JWP in a minute. Alex Scott excites me. Yeah, me too, Ken. You and me, similar types of players we enjoy. And I think we haven't had a player like that, a British player like that, for a long time. This is probably Joe Cole. Joe Cole first 1.0, not Joe Cole 2.0. Joe Cole 1.0. We had someone like that, but we let him go in terms of what's his name? Okaflex. He could have been that. He was a good player. 2 young, 2 skillful. Can't see Moyes being here after, so maybe get Scott the next manager. Would be a bad shout. Timmy's here for the future, and he's in place for the next owners. Wouldn't have. Maybe. The whole thing with Tim Stein, I think people are like, again, I'm gonna make a rumor banner when I say things, and I'm gonna put this up so people rumor alert. I'm gonna put like on top so everyone sees. The information we got was Mark Noble suggested, because the idea was we knew we were going to get a director of football. Mark gave Sully Tim's name as a name to interview. So it's because people are like, how did Sully pick it up? Oh, was it the new owners? I think it was actually Mark Noble gave him that's now. You can take that with a massive pinch of salt, but that's the information we had, was that he was someone that Nobes basically gave him Tim Steindon as a potential candidate for the director of football role. So, but again, we don't know, do we? We just don't know. We don't know. Souček is giraffe on ice skates. Not far between Bristol and Swansea. Not a bad shout. Flynn going to Roberts. Yeah, no, that's what I was thinking. Swansea, he's still got sort of friends around there. But I think there's legs in Flynn. Yeah, that's me definitely, Ken, in terms of what you're saying. And I'm not interested in Hammers. He went to Everton instead of us. He said again he won't want a move to us. We'll see. We've seen it, won't it? Always makes difference when you actually, he's got European football, he comes to us. He hasn't got that Everton. And let's talk about the last one. Let's talk about JWP. We haven't spoken about JWP for a while. And I've got a feeling things might warm up a little bit. So apparently West Ham do have a concrete interest in signing him. We know he's one on the list of replacements, not replacements, but Declan Rice midfield replacements. That's not a better word. And the Irons have been encouraged. A deal could be possible by the predicament of Southampton, who are obviously selling their star men following relegation. Apparently Ward-Prowse wants now to join to a Premier League side, and is expected to do so before the summer window shuts. It all comes down to valuation, really. In terms of Southampton's valuation will be key, but West Ham are firmly in the race with other top clubs. It seems like a two-horse race between us and Fulham. Again, I thought Bournemouth might put a shout in for him because obviously geographically very close to Southampton. But by the looks of the new manager coming in, the types of players, I don't think he'll fit into the setup there, really, to be honest. I mean, Ward-Prowse played every Premier League game last season. And he's got 343 top flight appearances to his name. He's been capped 11 times by England, 17 career Premier League free kicks, and now just trails David Beckham by one free kick goal to be the most free kick goals in the Premier League ever. And he became Southampton's assist king last season, notched up 11 goals and 5 assists across 45 competitions, appearances in all competitions. I mean, as I said, me and Kent, we share the same sort of ideas. I've given him 7 out of 10 because it's the Flynn factor, I'm calling it now. In that the current manager of Southampton, the new manager is Russell Martin, who was the manager of Swansea when Flynn was playing for them, and obviously he was reluctant for Flynn to go to West Ham, but he did. So he has a very good relationship with Flynn. And so apparently he's desperate for him to join. So the idea being is, a swap deal plus money for JWP seems a logical solution. People will be like, I want to give Flynn the time. I want to give him part of me. I think if you went and bought Alex Scott and you bought Flynn and you bought JWP, and also you got the under 21s and under 18s coming through, I think Flynn's going to get thrown out in the wash a little bit, to be perfectly honest. He's a good squad player. He's done a great job for us. He'll, next year, if he stays, he'll be playing plenty of Europa League, and he'll be playing in the Carabao Cups and FA Cups, no doubt about that, and the odd Premier League game. But at the age of 24, he's the same age as Declan Rice, albeit a couple of days younger. He'll want to be playing first team football, and I think at Southampton he could do a Josh Cullen and drop out and then come back up, but come back up embedded into a side where he's going to play 40 games the following season in the Premier League. He's not going to do that at West Ham, despite what you think. He will not play. He'll not play. He'll not play. I mean, I think he did 7 Premier League games last season, 6 of them against the big 6 away from home, I think it was. He may get 10 Premier League games at West Ham in terms of appearances. He will not get 20, 30 appearances. He will get that at Southampton, and he will get the opportunity in the Championship, but also the opportunity to go up and play maybe Premier League the season after next, in a similar way to Josh Cullen did. And I'm real buzzing to see. And he's a West Ham boy as well, so the same thing happened. Right, what we got here? Kent says, Timmy's there, West Ham to build a philosophy so the club will go next 1-2 clear vision. We need this because West Ham haven't had that before. I totally agree, Kent. And that's my main concern before Tim's appointment was the fact is we've got Moyes in place for 12 months, and like it is, he'll see his contract out, and then we get a new manager in next year. Now, with Tim, and I was thinking, well, where's the incentive of him to build the side? There's not incentive for him to build the side and build a squad which is going to go for the next 2, 3, 4 years, but there is for Tim because that's his role. And so, actually, with Tim coming in, you're going to get an interesting paradox there where they're going to be wanting players to come in for the now, and then we're wanting players to come in for the future. You've also got Mark Noble around being sort of maybe becoming the academy director, sporting director, or something like that. And then we'll talk about Hammer's headlines, whose assistant he's going to be hopefully soon. But the idea being is, there's a vision there. I think some people underestimate the role that Tim Steinden's had or will have, and the sort of the seismic change at West Ham this was going to be. And if by all accounts it was Mark who gave it to him, or if it was the new owners, we don't know. if there are going to be new owners, we don't know. But the footballing side is going to hopefully change, and we're going to be more in line with hopefully. Well, it's going to take a few sort of seasons to implement this, and obviously the squad age will go down eventually. It won't be this season, but from next year, obviously Oggy won't be around, Fabianski won't be around, Cressel won't be around. Maybe Soufal might come to the end. Well, he'll be in his last year, so a lot of the older players will be moving on. So there'll be a pathway to bring in younger players, as well as the academy. So you'll see, I think, next season, not this season coming, the next season, you'll see the average age, dramatically decrease, which is really needed, to be honest. But I think, it's having a pathway, it's having a vision, being a bit like Brentford, being a bit like Brighton, who we all say are very well-run clubs, being more like them. That's how we should operate. JBT and McTominay would be nice proven Premier League players. Yep. I don't want to see us spend a lot of money for JDP. Would rather see us spend the money on younger players with a future, not someone at 3 years. There's no real sale value. That's what I mean. So for me, if it means you can get him in for a decent number, i.e. using Flynn as a make weight, he's one of the players you need to bring in for the now. Plays too defensive. He has had the chance, always prefers the back pass. Well, I think Flynn was like Declan Rice when he first went into CDM role, and he developed. But I just don't see a pathway for Tim. The pathway for Flynn, rather. No, it doesn't offer enough for me. Don't want us, but Moyes will want him for set plays. As Tommy B says, we need to boost our set plays like a few seasons ago. Could only be an improvement. He could be. I think him with a Zakaria, with a Onana, with a, I think you'll see, and not just the set plays, but his range of passing as well. Nice dinks over the top, crossfield balls. I mean, that's what you don't get with someone like Zakaria comes in, and that's what we've always had with Declan Rice. And JDP might not have the combative skills, but he's still a good player. There's a reason why he's made a dozen appearances for England. You don't get into the English squad by being shit, do you? There we go. There's the quote for the thing. What would Flynn's value be? 15 million. So him and 50 million. Yeah, that would do me. Maybe first refusal on the Downs deal. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we put a sellback clause in. Surely, I'm not sure. I don't think Flynn is ready. I don't think he is. Will Steinen be the one that sacks Moyes? And Steinen was the one who sacked Leverkusen manager. Well, during Steinen's time at Leverkusen, not saying he was involved in all of this, but they had 4 managers in 4 years. But he wasn't. He started off in the scouting bit and then worked his way up. So he wasn't directly involved in the hiring and firing of 4 managers, but he was credited for the Xabi Alonso one. The prices be right for JWP. Yep, I totally agree. It's a shame because Flynn's ticker is a good player. I mean, he's a good player, but I just don't think he's that next level, or he's not going to be for me the one who's going to take over Declan Rice mantle. And I don't think he will be. But it's a shame. But I think the trouble is, because he's that West Ham fan, he's got like this, like an academy player. He's got to give him a chance. He's like, sometimes it's just not. I mean, he was the right person for that role, that squad role. We would have always liked to see him get some more game time, but we knew he wouldn't because he's smaller than Souček, basically. Can we do a Manu and bring through a good set of under 18s? Well, we've got a mate. We've got a Michael. We have got them. And then don't forget, we've also got on the sort of committee, so to speak, we've got Mark Noble. And Mark Noble is at the Mark Noble Arena, Chadwell Heath, every day, talking to the likes of Kevin and Potsy and Mark Phillips. And, he knows all the players off by heart. He knows them. He even trains. He puts his boots on, does training sessions, and he gets involved. He knows what we've got on our hands. And it needs someone like him with his passion for the club as well to be part of that journey, and with his assistant as well, which is still not to be confirmed yet, but we've got good information about who it's going to be. But proper West Ham fans doing that role. Plus, I mean, the whole academy is West Ham fans. Kenny Brown is the academy director. You've got Potsy, you've got Mark Robson, you've got Colton, you've got Zavon, you've got Mark, you've got loads of them all hanging around there. It's just that, and with Noble, you've got that sort of just that that person involved. It's really good. Do you think we'll push for Pelini? I don't think we will. But then he says that. Who knows, Damien? Nice to see you, mate. Hope you will. I don't think we will. I just don't think we will. Statistically, the best CDM in Europe the last season across all 5 major leagues. But for me, I just don't know if it all comes to money, doesn't it? I think if Pelini goes, JWP. I think if Pelini goes, JWP goes to Fulham. So whether we get Pelini and they get JWP, I don't know. Yeah, the West Ham shirt ain't the worst thing. We need a striker. Who would JWP have to work with? Skalmaka. Fucking hell. You got 6'4", 6'5" striker there who could do the bloody business. He can get it. And I just think it's the interplay as well. Just got back from the London Stadium. Beautiful close-up. I apologise. I missed the start. Any viewer... did you... great. Did you get your picture? Did you get your picture, Dave? I apologise. I missed the start. Any view on the kit and the price? I'm mental in it. 75 quid is ridiculous. I quite like the kit. Alves JP will be the only transfer midfielders we need. Great shout. Yep. I'd like to be a movement in the players out. Antonio needs to go because he's a diva. I think Souček because he's a... I was saying this in our WhatsApp group today. It takes 2 to transfer. It takes 1 to sell and 1 to buy. Now, someone like Souček, I think we could sell if the price was right. But who's going to come in and spend 20 million quid on Souček? Just pick a name. Plus offer him 100 grand a week. Not going to happen. Just not going to happen. Guess that depends if we actually have a crop of youngsters. That looks good, but slight difference between. Yep, you're totally right, David. That's the trouble with the youth setup now. Is because it's all very much age basis. We'll see what happens with these boys now when they move into the 21s. Because the 21s you're playing with not only 21s, but also you're playing with overage players as well. We're playing with Premier League players coming back from injury. A little bit more like the reserve, the old combinations league set up as it used to be, but not as much ex-pros coming in, but it is. No one will ever live up to Rice. Totally agree. We need our pace on our side to give us. We're a slow team. Thoughts on the new kit? Yeah, it's all right. Totally agree that Flynn is not top standard. It's no better than worse. I think he's better than Connor Coventry, but Connor's going to. I mean, we've got a few proverbial loanees, haven't we? We know Connor will go out on loan. Nathan Trott's gone back out on loan to Veja BE, over these BK, the Danish side that he was just come back on. Jason Van Nang probably will go out on loan again. So it's like, for me, it's like, what is the point? What is the point? Let them be. Let them just go into first team football and play with these guys and play this side for the most. And I don't see the point of sending people out on loan all the time. If they're not good enough, let's let them go and have a great career in a lower league. A bit like we did. I mean, look, as I said, go back to the whole Josh Cullen thing. He left. We let him go. He left. He went to Anderlecht, captain. It was fantastic. And then there's a twist of fate. He goes, company goes to Burnley, and then he goes. Obviously, as he's captain, they get promoted. He's back in the. He's actually in the Premier League, and that's the way it should be. Sometimes a change, a break is as good as a change. The other way around, a change is as good as a break. I'm going to say this time because sometimes actually the right club, the right manager. That's why I think with Flynn, maybe going to Southampton with Russell Martin already, they got a very good relationship. It could work. We'll miss Rice. He's never injured. Something is rarity. Totally agree. Any news on Onana? Yeah, we spoke about him. Maybe something in the fact that Everton are looking at bringing Adam Wharton from Blackburn. Could be his replacement. Maybe one in, one out. Europa League without Rice is worrying. Yes, I know what you mean. I suppose it depends about who we get drawn against, isn't it? That's not until September 1st, I think. Any news on coaches coming in? No news. No, nothing we've read. Nothing we've read. Obviously, there was the talk about Steve, about old Round coming in. But who knows? Ben Johnson is winner for England. Will that increase his value? Probably not. Probably not. Didn't play a lot. Was put on the bench quite a bit. If you actually looked at it a little bit. So yeah, I would offer 15 million plus Coventry to. Yes, great shout. Yeah, great. I mean, are they from 20 million plus Coventry? I think Coventry's not worth 10 million. I think he's probably worth about 5 million. I think that'd be a great shout. At the end of the day, everything is a rumour until a players can't be on their back. You're totally right, Michael. You're totally right. Until they have their social media the social media, what's it called? Player announcement video. There's been some great ones. So the lower leagues. I think Rochdale did one with Phoenix Knights. With the Brian the Brian Potter fairground sign. I've seen if you've ever seen that. They've done it with him. Fair play. I wish we just signed a few players soon before they're all gone, as we're always so slow. There's plenty out there, mate, but we want the right ones, don't we? We want the right ones. Where do you think we will place next season? I'm still confident. You know me, glass half full type person. I still see us. I mean, in reality, I think our little league is probably 7th to 12th. That's where we are. And I think if we finish 10th, that'll do me. 10th and a decent run in Europe or in the cups. That's what we want. We're never gonna win the league, and I mean the Europa Conference was amazing, but it was the Europa Conference. But so that's for me. We just want to have a bit of fun, and we want to score a few goals, and if we get a situation where we can get, as I said, a bit more pace in the side, I think you'll see a massive difference in the fan base because you're counter attacking with no pace. If you're counter attacking, I mean we've got pace, we've got Cornet, but we just got to if we had another like someone like Becker would make a massive difference, more so than a Harvey Barnes in my opinion. But we just don't know, do we? We don't know. I think we need a new striker. Maybe. At the end of the day, all the news coming out of the club is they don't want to sell Scamacca. The only time they'll sell Scamacca is that, if a club offered around £35 million for him. Same as Paqueta. Paqueta's not for sale, but he's going to cost you 80 million if you want to buy him. And that's the way you should do it. You don't say he's not for sale and offer him a new contract and then you're fucked with him for the next another 4 or 5 years. You've done it in the right way. All the news coming out of him saying Scamacca wants to go. That's all paper talk. No, out of the club from the actual, people who are making decisions about his future, because at the end of the day, he's owned by the club. He is, for me, still a West Ham player. And he'll probably play a blinder tonight. Let's hope. When into Zakaria's signing announcement, I think wait a while. Tom said just snap off for 10th. Yeah, I think we all will. And it's the same every close season, isn't it, bruv? Every close season, we start optimistic that we're going to get some early signings done. And about just as like sort of mid-July, just as the teams start coming back and we start playing, pre-season friendlies, there's all the doom and gloom. And then we all have like a mad rush at the end of the transfer window. And then we go into the season optimistic. That's the way. It's like a what's the name? What's the word? Roller coaster, isn't it? Does Everton have Yep, massive. I think they give you up to 70% on 70% of your income to wages. I think they're on about 95 or something like that. I like the transfer committee. Hopefully they are working daily in transfers and set up a remote office. Huge window. It is, Damien. And actually, I think having a committee works. People say it won't work, but it shouldn't all be on one. But now, apparently, Moyes has the veto. But okay, he's at the end of the day, he is the manager who's going to be picking the sides. Steiner doesn't pick the team. Nobody doesn't pick the team. It's Moyes that picks the team. I get that. I actually think that's not a bad idea. But the trouble is now everyone's he's got the veto. But actually, I'd rather want as a committee. Steinden's coming from a future, what's the word? Like a part, future. He's looking at 5-10 years down the line. You've got Moyes. He's looking at the short term because that's what he needs. He needs a good season to get a new contract. And Noble's looking at it from a youth perspective. So actually, the three of them together, it's almost like a superpower, I think, having all of them. And so I don't think it's a bad idea. Russ Scamacca looked unhappy. Scamacca has a resting bitch face, Helen. He never looks happy. The only time he looks vaguely happy, even when he scores, he doesn't smile, but does all that. I wouldn't take his facial expressions on a photo on Twitter as he wants to leave. He never looks happy. He's His resting bitch face is awful. Rumour wants to prove he has it. Yes, Michael, that's what I'm being led to believe. You know, we've heard from I think Kevin Nolan did a Talk Sport piece recently saying that he's a great guy on the pitch. There's no doubt his ability, but he's taking him time to adjust. He's a 23-year-old lad in a country he barely speaks the language, and he's barely got any mates out here. So I'd be in the same boat if I were going to, I don't know, China or India, or don't say China, it's easier. Going to China or Japan or somewhere like where they don't speak, not everyone speaks English. I'd be like a fish out of water. It'll take me a good year to understand what I'm doing, you know, and like walking around Westfield on my own. That's what he does. I see him all wear it. But anyway, thank you, Damien. Oh, quick screenshot. Damien agrees with me. I feel that once Rice deal is done, someone will announce the sell of the club. Nah, not going to happen. PGADs. It's too much. There's too much pissing about with probate and stuff on the gold deal. I think I can see as once the Rice is deal, I can see right. Okay, that's done. Because they don't just shitting themselves in case anything happens with the Rice deal, which he won't do. But I think that's basically it. Don't see any players coming in until Moyes gets back from Australia if he has a veto, and anyone that doesn't want to come in. I can see him coming in. Alan, because I think there'll still be, you know, you still have the backroom staff, you still have Tim, you still have Mark, they'll still be doing stuff. But you won't see any what's that, mate? I don't think you'll see it on your tour. I mean, it's Perth next on Saturday, isn't it? I think we should swap Schumacher for Tony Abrams. No, don't ACL, mate, not worth it. I think Schumacher would come good when he played with Paqueta. He linked up well. Kind of be a new signing. Great shout. Do you like new kit? Yeah, it's all right. Every kit, I think, is all right until I see it live. Looks like most of it won't be going to Oz as their time off. Yeah, you're right. I mean, there's still quite a few. The likes of Zuma, Fabianski, Bowen, Cresswell, Ogbonna, Scarmacca, Cornet, Ings, Coventry, Downs. That's probably it. Cress. I think Emerson's he didn't get called up today. So there's going to be a good few out there, that's for sure. Rumour has it again, moves into midfield because that's his strongest position. We'll see. When will new kit? I think reducing value towards the end. I hope we go for Ward-Prowse, new goalkeeper. I think we're all right this season, to be honest. Sam, I think we'll be all right this season. We'll wait and see what happens after that. But yeah, I think we'll be all right this season. But no, I think defensively, I think with the having to, what's the word? What's the expression? What am I thinking of? Giving Oggy and Cress a new deal, though I didn't agree with it at the time, does mean that sort of is covered a little bit. You could probably improve it, but that bit's covered. And then we can look at the midfield and forward line, and then maybe next year look at the goalkeeper situation because Fabs will be gone. And the defense. So it's sort of that type of thing. Knowing Moyes will sign Abrahams and Tony from our attacking position options. They can use injuries and ban times for their bedding time yet. I think Schumacher and Paqueta are going to have great season, but we need midfield and a cover. Do we know what youngsters travel to Australia? They haven't gone yet, don't know. Also put a bid in for that goalie. He's going to Burnley, isn't he? Going to Burnley. Anyway, guys, I'm going to have to shoot. Thank you very, very much for your time as per usual. If you're new around here, thanks for joining us. Give us a like, comment, share, all that type of good stuff. Maybe become a channel member. Maybe towards the end of this week, we'll do our second member draw this month for a signed football from the Europa Conference League winners. And yeah, that's it. So take care. Stay safe. Stay warm. Stay humble. Keep the faith, my friends. And we'll see you guys very, very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.